your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Kerr bringing topics of all kinds, from cigars to sports, family and more. Everyday stories you'll want to explore. So take a puff or ponder away. Join the talk, it's the highlight of your day. Puff and ponder where the sparks ignite, conversations blazing day or night. Tune in now, let the stories take flight. It's the Puff and Ponder podcast, where we get it right. From fast cars to last night's game, family laughs or today's big name. We've got the topics, we've got the vibe. Stay tuned in and enjoy the ride. So lean back, relax, take a break. Kevin and Kerr got the chat you'll appreciate. Puff and Ponder, the show that's great, where conversations ignite. Don't hesitate.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. I'm your host, Kevin Shahan. Joining me, as always, Kerr Viajante.
What's going on, man?
Kind of out of breath there a few minutes ago. My 3D printer was finishing up a job. I had to change it, and God.
All right.
I'm okay.
Now? You good?
Yeah, I had to buy a third 3D printer this weekend. So I got one in, and just to finish up a job.
Jeez,
so yeah, I didn't even start. I didn't even started the job yet.
You're like a 3D printer farm.
I don't know what constitute a farm, how many, but I think I think 3 is the start of a farm.
It is.
Yeah, because I've
definitely got a plantation or something.
Yeah, some kind of plantation. Yeah, with all the free labor I got around the house here, so it definitely feels like a plantation if you ask them. So, but yeah, I got another cigar manufacturer, and he's got a big job, and he's like, "When can you squeeze me in?" I go, like February 20th. That's my next big job. I can't even do anything else till next year. Anything big, these multi-100-piece jobs just take forever.
Yeah.
So, but I make more money 3D printing than I do selling cigars, Kerr.
Then listen, you obviously found the right freaking the right special sauce there.
I know all these people struggling, and I'm like, maybe I shouldn't sell cigars. It's like, but whatever. Speaking of cigars, what are you smoking?
I'm actually finishing up the Liga number 1.
Oh, are you? Oh, right on. Is that that's the Cigar Prop 10th anniversary?
It is. And I was going to
test blend.
I kind of went back and forth. I did not want to smoke one on the show. I wanted to kind of smoke them while I'm hanging out and give you feedback on all of them all at once. So, but yeah, it's that's what I'm smoking right now. And then I have from the Smoke In November Cigar of the Month Club, which is fucking great. Another great fucking.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
Oh, that's because you're not special, Kevin.
Yeah, mine will be here tomorrow.
Yeah, I got mine sooner because I paid for mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Abe. The Ozinger.
Oh, well, which one? I don't recognize that band. Please. Yeah, what band? Yeah. Because he always has like the blue and red. I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, I think this is the Ozinger, right? This is the Oz Family Cigars. Caratabuca.
I spell that.
Caratoba. I'm feeling like I'm fucking like my brain is Karatoba. Caratoba.
Can you read? I honestly I love Tim, the whole family, Crown Heads. Read the what is that? What's the description on? I've never heard of that cigar.
You're gonna make me read the description, aren't you? Son of a bitch. Hold on.
No, I'm intrigued. There's an Oz Family cigar that I am unaware of.
I'm gonna get my reading glasses on, Kev.
Yeah.
Oz Family Cigars Caratoba K52. The origin is Nicaraguan wrapper, Sumatra Maduro. Binder is Nicaraguan, filler Dominican Republic. 5 by 52. The Caratoba from Oz Family brings a bold and savory twist to the modern medium to full profile, rolled in a soft pressed 5 by 52 Robusto format. The cigar showcased a Sumatra wrapper over a Nicaraguan binder and fillers from Nicaragua and the Dominican Republic. The blend opens with a lively spice before deepening into rich, slow-cooked flavors reminiscent of stewed meat and red sauce, balanced by an earthy sweetness from the wrapper. Complex yet cohesive, Caratoba delivers a luxurious mouth-coating experience that lingers long after the final draw.
I wonder what. Yeah, I'll have to look up to see what like the history of that name is, because everything always means something to Tim.
Yeah.
So
no, man, it's a good one though. It looks delicious. I can't wait.
Our RJ says that a very good cigar. So yeah, I said I can't believe there's an Oz Family cigars that I have not had. And Mike, I'm sure during our football segment, Kerr will get into the Seahawks question. But yeah, I am smoking the new from Sinistro Cigars, the Last Cowboy Ghoul.
Ooh, how is that? Any different from any of the other Last Cowboys?
I don't know. I gotta smoke more it's a good cigar. You know, it's got like the ooze dripping down like the Candela strips.
Mm-hmm.
I just got them in today. They come in the mail, so I probably should have let them sit, but I just ripped open the package an hour ago and took one out. So
James makes good shit though, man.
Yeah, hey gosh.
I'll tell you what, you're gonna like this. Do you want to know? You want a preview of what you're expecting for your November 2025 Cigar of the Month sampler?
Yeah.
From Abe at Smoke Inn. The Cohiba Rubicon Robusto.
Oh, I haven't had that one. Yeah.
That's a real good one. I thought you had that one, Kev.
The Rubicon?
The Rubicon, yeah.
What's it look like?
I don't know if I have one in here. It's no, we don't. I think Jen and I both smoked it. It's black and red band. Yeah, the Rubicon.
For some reason I don't remember that name. The Rubicon.
Yeah, it's their $8.50 retail cigar.
Oh, okay.
And freaking the Cohiba at $8.50 is really good.
Yeah, they just launched that $250 one last week.
Yeah, no, this one's not that one.
yeah.
The Dom Pepin ERH Robusto.
Oh, great cigar.
Jennifer just finished that one. Big fan. Yeah. The Drew Estate Undercrown Dogma Sungrown.
Oh man, that's a great cigar. That Sungrown. Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
Right.
That is,
getting some good ones in there, right?
Yeah.
The Oz Family Cigars Caratoba K52. Now that I got the name correct. And then we have the United Gold Star Toro. That's what I started my the pack off with.
Oh, the Gold Star. I loved that. I remember I did like a video on that cigar or something when I don't know where I picked it up. United they sent me like a 3-pack when they released those cigars. They sent them to a bunch of media, like in the media packs. Oh my god, I smoked them all right. It was such a great cigar. Yeah, Cohiba's got that new, but
yeah, they're real good.
Yeah, that $250 Cohiba, and then it comes in like a super nice humidor. But it's only like 15 cigars, I think, or 16, but they're like sitting upright. So even after all said and done, you can't use it as a fucking humidor. $250 per cigar, multi-$1,000, setup, and you can't even use it as a normal fucking humidor afterwards? What the hell is that?
It's an interesting looking humidor though. It always reminds me of like the head from that Arnold Schwarzenegger wore when he was on Mars.
Oh yeah.
The one that kind of opens up and then closes it in slats.
Yeah.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Takes the head off. It always that's what it reminds me of.
Yeah, absolutely dumb. And then I don't know. It's Cohiba, whatever. They make great cigars. I love Cohibas. The Cohiba Black, probably one of my favorites. I never really got into like those, the Spectre, like the $100 ones, which people have given them to me, and like, they're various $100 cigars. They're okay, but
yeah, for $100. I mean, this one here's an $8.50 cigar. And when I smoked them, like, what if you would have told me this is a $15 Cohiba, I'd have been like, okay, I believe you. It's good.
Yeah. That's good. That's good right there.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, I'm smoking the Liga number 1. I'm going to hold off. I am washing it down. I paired it with. I actually wash it down. I'm pairing it with a Ron Abuela Añejo rum. My niece and her husband got this for me when they were in Panama, which Jennifer did not know that you can actually vacation in Panama. She thought Panama had 2 things: 1, the Panama Canal, and number 2, David Lee Roth singing Panama.
Yeah, I want to visit the canal, so that would be super cool to kind of see the lock system, and I'd like to drive the little trains. I don't know if they'd let me ride along.
No.
Probably not.
No,
probably not.
They said 50 miles, 50 less than 55 miles from one coast to the next, so you can go to Atlantic Pacific Ocean.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. How you doing? How you doing with the time change? Does that ever affect you?
No.
Yeah, it affects me. Like last night, it was we got home, and I'm sitting around. I'm like, all right, do I have time for like one more cigar and maybe a drink? I don't know. Then I happen to look down at the clock, and I'm like, it's 6:15. So
right.
Like, of course, because we got home and it's dark out, and it's like I'm like, well, I gotta probably get ready for bed now. And yeah, 6 o'clock.
No, it's the mornings. I mean, this morning when I woke up, I was like, I thought it'd be lighter out. What the hell's up with this fall back? And then it kind of got light real quick. But
yeah,
no, not yet. It probably won't impact me for like another week. But actually, Jennifer and I over the last week, even prior to fall, the fallback, we'd be sitting in the house, and it's like, man, we gotta wonder if we can get ready for bed, and it's like it's 7:20. It's like, oof,
yeah.
I'm getting old.
Yeah, I never know, because I'm in the lounge here, so I keep the blackout curtains closed, so I never know really what time it is. But when I got to get up and go to the bathroom, I got to walk through the garage into the house, and then I'll see that it's pitch black outside. What I need to start doing is closing that damn garage door. That way I can't see that, because once I see the dark, and then my brain starts like this countdown. Because normally when it's like 8:15, 8:30, it gets dark. And my brain's like, all right, start winding down the evening. You got to finish up your computer work. You can read for an hour or so, and then but then when it starts getting dark, it just really mess with me. Not time change so much, but like you said, it's been like the last week. It's really, I think we felt it coming to Saturday morning. So it would have been, it was Sunday morning. So yeah, it was the time change. I got up like at 2:30, couldn't get back to fucking sleep. And I had to change out the 3D printer, as I do every morning around 2:30, and then I'd finish a book, and then woke up. It was like 7:30, made some biscuits and gravy, and went back to sleep till about 10.
You were telling me that. That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, it was it really messed with me. But yeah, I've been reading a lot lately and been hooked in this fucking stupid book that I don't know.
Which book's that?
One of my favorite, I don't know, The Labyrinth. It's like a huge novel from one of my favorite authors, but this one's kind of a miss from him. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just okay.
No, I think during the week, for some reason, it's been we've been getting up and it's been dark in the mornings.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think that just in general, it does definitely has been preparing us for the time change, because I just think that it's been getting, for some reason, I feel like it's been getting darker earlier, even prior to the time change. But the mornings have been just so dark, but
yeah, a lot of people don't realize that even if the time doesn't change, it the sun rises and sets at different different times anyway.
It's still rotating. It's still
yeah, you're still rotating. We're wobbling on the axis. It's why we get the seasons. So people think, it's like I like it. Sun goes down at 8 o'clock. Well, that moves throughout the year, whether the time changes or not. The sun doesn't care.
And if you're a flat earther, it just kind of tilts to one side.
Yeah, it just tilts to one side.
The plate. So you can imagine the plate,
the plate.
It shifts to one side. So
yeah,
like that one congressman said that the one island was going to tip over.
Yeah, God, because they're building on the one side, and it's just like, does he not know how islands are made? It's just like that connects, guy. So
No, I when I remember reading that, I remember watching that, and I'm sitting there thinking, and that person represents, a certain part of the population who voted. I was like, man, God dang, that's just stupid. This rum is super smooth though. I'm just drinking it straight. I had my Diet Coke here in case I needed to add it, but this is really smooth rum.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I go back to a different Publix tomorrow. They were out of the Diet Coke with lime, and I've been drinking that stuff like it. Oh God,
That's
so
the
smooth.
worst. Cocoa fucking pebbles.
Yeah, it's the best. So,
well, Kev, before we get into everything, do you want to do the fog box?
Yeah, let's hear a word from our partners over at Fogbox.
Let's be real. Most travel cigar cases look the same: black, boring, forgettable. But Fogbox, they're doing it different. Every Fogbox travel case and lighter features custom hydro dip graphics, from bold patterns to badass designs that pop. These aren't just tools, they're statements. Whether you're at a lounge, a campsite, or on the beach, Fogbox gear stands out while keeping your cigars protected and fresh. Plus, the quality is rock solid. Airtight, rugged, and built to handle wherever you take it. If you're still carrying around the same black plain cigar case everyone else has, it's time for an upgrade. Visit fogbox.com and grab something as unique as your cigar taste. That's fogbox.com. Built to travel, designed to stand out.
Frogbox.
That's it. I was just using their lighter just now.
Yeah.
So I had my my knee procedure done on Friday, Kerr, the Iovera treatment.
Oh yeah, how'd the aloe vera go?
Did not work.
No. So what do they do? Explain exactly what they do for that.
Okay, so basically they take measurements from the center of your kneecap up your thigh, down your shin, and then they use like this little device, a little battery powered device, and they put it on your leg, and they're looking for the nerves. So they'll hit it and it'll get like a little shock, and then they'll move it like 1/8 of an inch and shock it again. It's like, is that less intense or more intense? So you kind of like a stud finder, where it slowly starts to beep up, then you find the center of the stud, then it trails off.
Mm-hmm.
So they're looking for the center of the for that nerve. So there's like 4 spots around the knee, top and bottom. And then they take the liquid nitrogen or whatever, and then numb up or spray it on your leg while they inject the numbing ointment or whatever it is. I don't know, what do they use to inject to numb up
lidocaine?
The lidocaine, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So and all the little spots where the nerves are, they use the lidocaine, and then they take this little handheld device that's got a liquid nitrogen cartridge in it, and it's got 3 prongs, and then they stab it in your leg on those points, and then they press the button, and then it freezes like the nerve. So I guess the nerve is inside like a little sheath. Mm-hmm. It leaves the sheath intact, but it kills the nerve inside.
It's called the myelin sheath.
Yeah, there you go. I think that's the term he'll use. So he went all the way around the knee, and there was a couple spots where it hurt pretty good. So, and then that's it. It's supposed to kill all the nerves going to the knee that's giving me pain. Oh. And then it lasts for anywhere from 3 to 6 months, depending on how fast the nerve grows back. They say about 1 millimeter a day, give or take the person. And then full range of motion. I just can't feel my knee. So it was good the first night, and then Saturday night, I'm laying in bed, and then I felt like a little twinge in my kneecap, and I'm like, ooh, that was a little twinge. They're supposed to kill everything inside there. And then about 15 seconds later, it got me up out of bed. Like it was like someone stabbed an ice pick underneath my kneecap. And then about 15 seconds later, it got worse. And then it got worse, like to the point where like I was almost on the ground, like this, like the spasms inside the knee. And then that was it. Mm-hmm. No, that was the last of the spasms. And then, had a bunch of errands to do today, and then by midday, my knee was hurting right where it's always hurt, same spot.
Oh,
And I'm like, huh, yeah, it's awesome. Did we miss a nerve? Fuck's going on? So yeah, good thing workers' comp paid for it, not me.
Yeah, I bet.
So
yeah, that myelin sheath is actually the fatty protective coating over the neuron over your nerves. In ALS, that actually is what deteriorates and gets damaged and slowly gets stripped away.
oh, is that what? Okay.
Yeah, just in
So,
case you were wondering, just wanted to
Yeah, I mean, definitely good to know.
pop off a little bit of
Yeah.
useless information.
Yeah,
I was looking for a way to squeeze in the term myelin sheath, and I did.
That's it. Yeah, the year's almost over. I can check that one, cross that one off.
I've been waiting for it. You're like, my cell, this thing around the cell on my nerve. Like, I
got that.
November 3rd.
Finally. So yeah, so the big test will be I go back to work tomorrow. So I had off Thursday because I got the finishing or working on the tattoo on my head, so I'm not wearing a hat. So I had a few days to
oh yeah, that's right. You got your how many more sessions on the noggin do you have?
One more, and it hurt. We were 5 hours in, and I got up to, we take a break about every hour and a half, and just to stretch because I'm laid out on the table. So which it's good because my back hurts, my hips hurt, everything is in pain. Kind of takes the attention away from the pain on the head. And then we got it for our last break, and he's like, "All right, we just got to fill in some white highlights on the side." And I go, "If you touch me again, I'm gonna throw up." He's like, "Not a problem." He goes, "You sat like a rock." He goes, "We're a little over 5 hours," and he goes, "That's a lot on your head." And I go, I can't. And then I just it took me probably 30 minutes of just sitting there, and my teeth were chattering like uncontrollably. I couldn't stop it. My hands were shaking uncontrollably. And because it was a little cold in there, and then like my body just given up. Like there was nothing else
right
I had left. So it was just, my body was just reacting to everything. It was, I mean, if most people looked at me, they'd probably think I was having a seizure, but he's seen it before. I've been through it before. So he just doesn't talk. I just sit there for 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, kind of just decompress, and then I'm like, all right, body's like, all right, we're good to go.
So what's your next session going to be? Another 5 hour session?
Probably 5 hours. Maybe we might be able to knock this one out in 4, because now all we have is the center all the way around the back. Yeah. So we might have 4 hours, and then we're done. So I'm only the second person I know that has had their entire head tattooed twice. So my buddy Brandon, who I ran into today, he just finished up having his entire head redone, and he actually came way down on the forehead, like right above his eyebrows.
Wow.
I tell you, when they got just around here, like on the forehead, it was just, I mean, lightning bolts. So I can't imagine, but he's also, he's doing the blackout from his neck all the way down to his waist and his arms. He's solid black. They went over all of his tattoos.
Why does someone do that?
It's just a thing. Kat Von D, actually the artist that's doing Brandon's blackout is actually doing Kat Von D's blackout.
I know why she's doing it. She's doing it for her own like rebirth religious reasons, but that's
I don't get it. I mean it looks good on him. He's a built dude, so it looks good, but I don't know.
Yeah,
he
just,
if
you're not happy with it, it's not like you get it covered up.
Yeah, exactly. And then a lot of people will do blackout, and then they'll go and get laser tattoo removal, and they'll do laser in designs. So now the skin comes through and showing. He's not doing that, but some people do the blackout just to get laser tattoo removal to get back to their skin.
Or they could just get anyway. I get you. I understand. I'm done with this cigar, but the only reason why I'm putting it down now is because it's burning my lips.
So is that the first one you tried?
That's the legal one, yes, sir.
All right, so I'll be interested to see if we picked the correct one, or if you picked the same one I picked.
I am not mailing in my my review yet, because there's two others to observe. or to try. But that one, obviously, you can see really kind of burned me up a little bit. But so I got to talk college football. Got to. For several reasons. One, we got some pretty good football games over the weekend. We had some good upsets. We got SMU over Miami. It's always good to see Miami lose. Florida gave Georgia a run at it, but Georgia did pull it out.
Pulled it out at the end there. Yeah,
pulled one out there. You had Indiana. I mean, they beat Maryland pretty solid, but Indiana still playing good, solid football. Michigan. I have to give it to my boys in blue. Beating up on Purdue a little bit. So
beaten up. They won a 1-score game. That's our last two. People are like,
wins a win.
Yeah. I know. Right. Everybody's like raving on Michigan. I'm like, every game's been a 1-score game that they've won. That's
it's
not
in the W column. All I'm saying.
NC
State beat Georgia Tech. Unranked North Carolina State beat 16th ranked Georgia Tech. Which was pretty interesting.
How far did that drop Georgia Tech?
I think they are now at 16.
So
they were up in the top 10, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. I didn't see them in the top 10, and I didn't scroll down.
No, they dropped down, and Texas beat Vanderbilt. Vandy.
I know, Vandy.
I mean, listen, Vandy is good, but Texas showed up. They didn't beat them soundly, 34-31. So, Texas has a long road to hoe, and I think Vandy's playing some damn good football, which is great. And of course, I have to point out the lovely victory. The whiteout did not white out enough. Ohio State 38 and Penn State 14, and Penn State again just continues to show that their rankings were bloated at the beginning of the season, and the rest of the season. The season's been showing just how awful
they gave us a little run for the first quarter, maybe but then that was
every football game is close the first quarter. Especially when you're like when Ohio State plays. Who the hell they beat last week? You guys have you have off last week?
Yeah, we had a bye last week.
Right. So prior to that, when you're playing, freaking University of Community College of West Ohio, the first quarter is always close because you always send me the same message. You're like, oh, I don't know, man. I don't know, man. It's a little close, man. I'm like, Kevin, come on, dude. Look who they're playing. It's not close, man. It's the first quarter. There's working out the kinks. Wisconsin, man, we're pretty close, man.
Did Terry said, did Buffalo win today?
Buffalo who?
Did Buffalo win today? It doesn't matter. They're never going to win a Super Bowl, but being from New York, you kind of like
Buffalo beat Kansas City last night.
I was watching something. Yeah, Mahomes was crying or something.
Yeah, whatever.
And Tony doesn't know how he got here, but hey, I'm glad you're here, Terry. Not Tony, Terry.
All I know is that when I watch the pro games anymore, it's like what I message you. I have to take a step back. When they're in the middle of the Penn State game, they're like, second half, Penn State has 17 plays and 1 yard. One total yard.
1 yard.
And he throws a 17-yard pass. They're like, this Penn State offense has a lot to look forward to in the future. I was like, what fucking game are you watching? Did you just hear him say 1 yard?
That's it. A chance I do. Like I said, at the end of that session, I did have a bunch of sweets to help calm me down. What's going on, Derek?
I had a good laugh at that comment. That was the single dumbest comment I ever made, except for the fact that when they show highlight reels, like I was watching last night of the NFL, and they're always, they always start off like, balanced, and then at the end they always show the winning, team, scoring, and they show Mahomes throw the Hail Mary into a bunch of Bills defenders who knock it down. I'm like, how can you even highlight that when they lose? What's his face? The quarterback from the Bills. He had another record-setting. What's that? Josh Allen. Yeah, he had another record-setting night. He played a great game. I got to tell you, Kev, Chicago, I mean, when you got a 40-year-old quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals, 41-year-old Joe Flacco, throw for 470 yards and 4 touchdowns and scores 42 points and you lose, you should just take your freaking defense out and just make them walk home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, yeah, you don't get to ride the bus. You don't get to go to the airport.
Chicago scored 47 points. And I'm like, and in every game I'm watching, I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the close games, the higher scores. It's inevitable. Both quarterbacks are killing it. Go to rushing yards. Chase Brown, 37 yards for the Bengals. Kyle Monaghan, 176 yards. You have a well-balanced offense when you're doing that. When you throw for 280 and you have someone who's already rushed for 176 yards, yeah, that's the reason why you lost. Right there.
Yep.
That's balance. Someone said something about the Seahawks. What's the Seahawks?
Oh, what was the that was at the Mike. Did you see the Seahawks game? Apparently the guy who unfortunately injured the Commander's quarterback left immediately. And no, I didn't. For some reason, I didn't see that.
Jaden Daniels got his elbow dislocated. It was horrible.
What, really?
Oh, it was a non-throwing arm, thank God. But he fell back and it popped. It was pretty gruesome. Yeah, it was pretty gruesome. I mean, and I mean, he's a competitor, so he's staying there. But I mean, the game was well out of hand at that point.
Who was the? You sent me the message. The field goal. Another record.
That was Jacksonville. The guy.
Oh, is it Jacksonville?
Yeah. For crying out loud, and they won too. I mean, they beat the Raiders. I mean, not really going to be, kind of. He kicked a 68-yard field goal.
68
yards, Kevin.
It's got to have something to do with them new rules that we were reading about.
They got to reduce something. I don't know, man. It's. I still, you go back to the old days where you have a guy with a half a foot, and that was back. That was back when they all had to wear the same uniform. So he's wearing maybe smaller shoulder pads, but he's got his thigh pads in, the hip pads in, the knee pads in. Kicking a 50-some yarder, and now you got these guys walking out with spandex pants on. They're not even wearing pads.
Or the who was wearing the short shorts? Was that college or was that? I think that was college. I think it was Kirk Herbstreit. Was it? And the kicker was wearing like booty shorts. And like what the hell was going on?
That makes me want to freaking take a run at the freaking kicker, because it's like, what, if you're not going to be padded, dude, they're probably wearing those. We used to have these pads that you had under the shoulder pads. And sometimes and I actually wore those as shoulder pads for lacrosse, and it was just like this foamy pad and stuff. And some guys would wear it under their shoulder pads, especially if they were injured and stuff. But that's what those guys look like they're wearing. I mean, it's basically coming out in a helmet. Yeah,
they're going to Walmart getting some Hutch gear, and then that's it.
It's like, how can he kick 68 yards? Well, he's kicking it in spandex pants and a fucking and like you said, a Hutch helmet.
Yeah, and you can't touch him. So they're pretty safe. I mean, I can't remember the last time you had a kicker get clobbered. It rarely happens.
It does.
So
if I was a kicker, I would wear that extra freaking layer that makes your head look like a freaking mushroom. Mushroom head.
Aren't there two NFL players wearing that?
That's a couple of them, year? Yeah. There's a couple of them wearing. I think there's more than two. But
I remember talking to they're interviewing the one guy, I forget who it was, and he goes, I don't even notice it's there. Like, it's not any heavier. And he goes, if it protects me, and he's like, who cares what it looks like?
If I was a kicker, I would wear that just to look stupid, because he's like, kicker ain't gonna get hit, but it would look funny. It would literally look like freaking Marvin the Martian.
Yeah, because they're all tiny people anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd go to the equipment guy and be like, can you get a bigger one? I want to look absolutely ridiculous.
I want it to be so big. It's lightweight. I'm not going to feel it on my head. I want it so big. I look like a lollipop kicking footballs out there.
Yeah. Them oversized cowboy hats that are like really big. I want you to get me one of those.
But there's a couple of undefeated teams in the college ranks right now.
Just two. Yeah.
No, there's three.
Who's
Still undefeated. I seen them in the article a couple weeks ago. So you got Ohio State, it's 8-0.
Yeah.
You got Indiana, who's 9-0. And then you have fourth. You have Texas A&M, who's 8-0. So there's your top three.
I didn't realize. Yeah, okay.
Now you have Alabama at 4, Georgia at 5, Oregon at 6, Ole Miss at 7, and the only other undefeated team at ranked 8th, who's 8-0, is BYU.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yep. And then Texas Tech is number 9. And then you got this freaking god dang Notre Dame freaking just rounding off the top 10. Give me an effing break. Why is it Virginia up there? Virginia's 8-1, damn it. You know.
Yeah.
Oklahoma's 7-2. Just move them. Bullshit.
So we got the first real rankings coming out tomorrow. Who's number 1, Kerr?
Ohio State.
You know,
you can't put Indiana up there. I mean, Indiana's playing good football, but it's
they're playing. The only they have one more game because they didn't. Obviously they didn't have a bye, so
right.
They got one more game. That's what everybody's saying. Well, they got one more win. So yeah. I mean, that's fine, you know. But I'm not. I don't think it has more to do with the amount of games that you're playing. Now, Indiana, you know, they've had a pretty good schedule, you know, pretty tough schedule. But I mean, you know, they may have a little bit of a leg to stand on, considering that they shut out Illinois and Ohio State didn't. Yeah,
Illinois was a little bit closer. Indiana Indiana crushed Illinois, you know. So it's going to be interesting to see where they are. Indiana's going to be playing Penn State this upcoming weekend. And I expect that there's going to be some comeuppance in that game.
I think so. I think I don't know. You know, I mean, I think the way Indiana's been playing, they're definitely going to beat Penn State. But I know Penn State really wants to stick it to the Indiana. So they ain't going to. No, I don't think they're going to either. So we'll see. Like I said, we got the I'll watch tomorrow night. ESPN. They're doing their, you know, the live picks, and then they're gonna, you know, do their college football playoff schedule picks. So we'll see.
Michigan squeaking their way up, like Portnoy said. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're 21 right now, but I suspect with Michigan, you know, coming up, and they're playing Northwestern next week, and Maryland. I think they're going to beat those two. They're going to come up into the teams, and then at the end of the year, they're going to beat Ohio State, and they're going to enter the top 10.
I mean, that's a way they could do it. You know, you know, if they beat Ohio State, they do get into the top. And if they got to win the rest of their games,
you have to soundly beat Northwestern. You have to soundly beat Maryland, and then you have to come in and you got to really stick it to Ohio State and win. And I think Michigan will be in the top 10 if they do that.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, depending on how everything, you know, there's a lot that has to happen above them as well. You know, everybody else wins all their games. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You know, Ohio State has a gaining reputation for receivers. Is that earned? They've got some great receiver coach. They got great coaching staff. You know, since NIL, man, you know, Alabama doesn't get all the good players anymore. You know, so
they were giving some props to Ohio State during the pro game, during one of the pro games, talking about the number of great receivers that are playing in the NFL right now that are Ohio State graduates.
Yeah,
I mean, it's listen, I'm not one of those goofy freaking fans that like hate Ohio State no matter what. I'm a Michigan fan. I give props where props are due, you know, and it's and I'll even root for them. Like I did. I sat there and I was like, I'm an Ohio State fan right now because they're playing Penn State, you know, but it's just
you know, and that helps, you know, and that's why, Alabama, Georgia, even Auburn, Michigan had a run of a couple good years. When you have, players in the NFL, doing good, they're on the highlight reel, they're making money, now these players coming out of college, that's where they want to go and be like, oh, hey, this, I see the kids picking their team, colleges are going to go to. They turn on ESPN every day, and there's an Ohio State guy in the top 10 making all these plays, every Monday. It's like, oh, I want to be there. That's my position.
That's an interesting point, right? So do you think that still matters? I mean, I think it matters, right? But with the NIL, do you really think it matters knowing that you can go to, Colorado and play for freaking Deion Sanders and probably make several $1 million, work at a program like that versus going to Ohio State maybe in a second stringer and just trying to hump your way up to number one?
So it's one of those things, like which, if you're playing the long game, yes, I can go to Colorado and be number one on the team, making $1 million, $1.5 million, maybe as much as $2 million a year in NIL. But then how many players from Colorado are in the NFL? So versus going to Ohio State, maybe not getting that much on NIL. But if I work my way up, and then I go, I'm seeing all these guys making, more money. So what do you do?
But do you see good decisions like that being made? I mean, you're seeing people jump around, so that, and it seems like I like to believe if it's going to be utilized, I think people are jumping around so they can play and not be a backup.
Yeah.
And not necessarily the money aspect of it. But I still suspect that, that's still an influence. I think it's going to become an ever growing influence as this thing continues to spiral out of control.
Yeah, I think so. But then you've got players like Lincoln Kienholz from Ohio State. He's only had a couple starts. I mean, he was, him and they had like 3 like number one or the top quarterbacks in the country. All like 3 of them go to Ohio State. They know only one's going to get it, and Lincoln is still there. He hasn't transferred out, and, he's probably not going to play next year either, so does he stick around? And I don't know. So I don't know what goes through these kids' minds sometimes, so it can't always be about money, because if so, Lincoln can definitely move along and get NIL money somewhere else. So, and it's, so I don't know.
Because back in the day, it was always like if you were the second or third stringer, you take a look at your talent. You're like, yeah, could I make it in the NFL? Maybe, maybe not. But you know what? I'm going to school. I'm not getting freaking beat up on 24/7. I'm going to school for free. I'm on the football team, so I'm traveling. I'm getting the freaking, the luxury items of a college football, player with Division I premier, university. Let's write it out here, and then afterwards, you can go and broadcast it if you want. You could freaking, maybe if you want to try as a walk on in the NFL, or just walk out and be like, freaking, I had a great time. Won a couple of freaking, bowl games, won a national championship or 2. And, had fun while I was doing it.
That's it. Got more ass than I'll ever get,
there's that. That's always a component of it. You're definitely BMOC at that point. You're not going to be the cocaine quarterback to see that series.
Yeah. So, but I don't, I'd like to see like some behind the scenes, like some talks with these kids, and find out what their decision making process is. Why transfer to an Ohio State, an Alabama, a Michigan, or whoever that's that has half or more of the entire team coming back, and you're not going to play for your first year. It's not going to happen, and it's.
No, I mean, when I played, I had the opportunity and I had some thoughts of transferring out and going to a Division II, Division I school, and at the time, my dad said, "Hey, you like it there? You got great coaches who take care of you and look after you. you're going to go into a system that they want you to come into. Take a look at your surroundings and make let's make a wise decision. And I decided to stay and I'm glad I did, because I have lifelong friends, the coaches, and that I'm still friends with as well to this day. Just fantastic people,
Yeah.
and that was kind of one of the things I love the most. So RJ wants to know, yo, Kev, did you just freaking cut me out from that, you son of a bitch?
I was born into it. So I was born in Ohio, right outside Columbus, a little town called Lancaster, Ohio, home of John Huber from Crown Head. His wife is from my hometown. You got Bob Hope went to the Ohio Boys School for like troubled youth in Lancaster, Ohio, when Bob Hope was young. And then we've got William Tecumseh Sherman. Sherman's March to the Sea, born in Lancaster, Ohio. So yeah, that's where I was born. Moved away when I was 2, but you just like the like, what was it, the Jets fan? that video I sent you. I hate this team. I was born into it.
I was born into this shit.
I hate this team. Oh my God, that was a great one.
That was really funny. That made me laugh.
Yeah,
much like Moses, a 2-year-old Kevin was put in a basket on the Ohio River, and he floated down to Florida.
That's it. So
that's how he got down there, and then he became a Miami Dolphins fan and decided that it was much better to go back to your roots and be an Ohio State fan than a Miami.
Yeah, I was for like a year in high school. I was a Florida Gator fan, so you kind of had to, like, I don't know. It was like, you had to pick a team: Miami, Florida, or the Seminoles. Like in that your the pressures of high school, it's like, so those are the local teams. So I
Florida too.
University of Florida for a little bit, so and then it's like, nah, I'm a Buckeye through and through. So
yeah. Cool alligator.
Yeah, cool alligator.
Cool alligator.
And we don't talk about the Dolphins too much, so don't bring that shit up.
Let me ask you this. Where you are, and look at was it just the colors of the uniform? Like, how do you become a Miami Dolphins fan and not a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan?
My cousin Jimmy was a huge Dolphins fan. He was born and raised here in Florida, and then he was probably 6 or 8 years older than me. So and he was my cool cousin. We lived across the street, and he was just a Dolphins fan. Always had Dolphins everything. And so as like the little kid running around, I looked up to him. So I was just a Dolphin
face now when you see him for doing that to you.
I haven't seen him in 30 years. So
I think that there's a loss, the statute of limitations with relatives. I think you can actually jump right over to Tampa Bay and no one will notice, Kev. It'll be all right.
Yeah, and then my dad, growing up, he was I'm always a Yankees fan. But my dad always was a Braves fan, because being in Florida, that's what we always got. We always watched the Atlanta Braves was always on TV. So that's the baseball.
Are you a baseball guy? Did you watch the last Game 7 of the World Series?
I did not. I watched the like the last 30 seconds of it.
Dude, I didn't know.
I didn't know what was going on. The World Series.
I'm not a baseball guy, but Jen and I put it on at the 4th inning, and holy cow, what a flipping fantastic game. Just awesome. Toronto at one point, I was just watching them. I'm like, this team is a machine. Like they just looked like just kept punching the Dodgers. And the Dodgers just kept taking it, waiting for that one moment where they were going back, and then fucking went boop, 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 and just freaking squeaked one out, man. It went back and forth. It was a pretty exciting game.
Seems like we're always robbing Canada of championships of one kind or another.
Yeah, that big payoff that would have been taxed 60% is no longer available. But a fantastic. It was a fantastic game. And we were just like, I stayed up and watched it because I they went to extra innings and everything, and it was one of those. Like I said, I was sitting there expecting Toronto to pull it off,
Yeah.
and I was surprised when the Dodgers came back and won. That's right, the double play. Yep, broken bat, double play. Yep, it's crazy when you see those little mishaps during during the game, and Dodgers squeaked it out 5-4. When you see freaking that Otani,
Yeah.
he's a freaking designated hitter and a pitcher.
Yeah.
The
That
guy like
that
he like strikes. He pitches several innings, strikes out 10 guys, and hits in one game and hit like 3 home runs. I mean, that's crazy, dude. That's crazy athletic.
That guy is insane. The tariff commercial was the best part. Was there he's Mike? You're not talking about the Ronald Reagan tariff commercial, are you?
Oh the whole thing. When Ronald Reagan talks about freaking.
Did they play that again? I thought Kearney told him to stop playing that shit.
I don't know. It was like, yeah, okay, great. It's not 1984
anymore. And I saw that. And like I said, obviously, you took everything Reagan said out of context, but it is what it is. But them tariffs worked against China, buying them soybeans, coming off them rare earth minerals, the chips and everything else. So
I did. But this guy here, sweet Jesus! I mean, his batting average for the year was 282. 282.
Who's that?
Otani.
Otani.
Yeah. You guys start drifting into freaking taxes and freaking embargoes and everything.
Those, but those Korean, I say Asian. Them Asian, I mean, they're like fucking robots, man. It's I mean, they just play. We import them over here, then we send our bad players over there. Like they go, like the guys that get washed up, they go overseas and play for a few years.
Tom Selleck. You ever seen that Tom Selleck movie?
Yeah.
Mr. Major League or Mr. Baseball or whatever it was.
Mr. Baseball, yeah.
What a great movie. But yeah, I mean, the freaking when you got a guy like that who's got an arm and freaking can come in and freaking hit some dingers, and I mean, just a great athlete. The guy who always used to impress me was the guy who played for the Mariners, Suzuki, and then he played for the Yankees.
Yeah.
That dude was a freak of nature.
Yeah.
I mean, just nothing about him was weak. The guy had a great bat. He had an arm that was a rocket that was freaking pinpoint precision. He's fast as hell. He could pitch. I mean, that is one of the most impressive, well-rounded baseball players I've ever seen play the game.
Oh, dude! Speaking of pitching, I was watching on ESPN, and I saw the. Do you see like the virtual pitcher that they have now? So these guys are in batting practice, and they're indoors. And then on a wall, where the pitcher would be. But obviously there's a wall, and there's a real life pitcher, like winding up to throw a ball. And in the center, there's just a hole. On the other side of that wall is a pitching machine that actually pitches the ball through the hole. But this company has logged every pitcher in Major League Baseball, and they're starting to log pitches from any pitcher in history. So, and it's you can ask, hey, from this pitcher, throw me his curveball. And it comes out of that hole, and it's
really?
that pitcher's curveball, fastball, knuckleball,
no shit,
whatever it is, and so you can hit against any pitcher currently in Major League Baseball, and I'm like, that's like freaky, So.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's and then I think that I was watching I was watching some clips, and it showed the 5 fastest pitches from the first pitch, so like whoever's throwing out the inaugural pitch.
Yeah.
And It was I can't remember what they went through, but like number one, I think was either Suzuki or maybe Cam Newton or someone threw it like 80 some miles an hour.
Yeah.
And it was all like younger guys, and right in the middle of it was Nolan Ryan threw it like 70 some miles an hour. It's like a
Yeah.
70-year-old man, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe! Did you see the arm on Kaepernick? He threw like I was like, dude, check out the old man who just
Yeah.
freaking who's probably come in here and probably freaking be a relief pitcher and still do well."
Yeah, I know. Still do that. Akiro batted left-handed, so he'd be to be 2 steps closer to home. One of it was inspired by him and did the same against the Mariners.
Yeah, that dude
Yeah.
freaking he is. Yeah, Nolan Ryan was hilarious when I saw that. I was like, the guy's 70 years old and he's freaking throwing heat.
He'll be 90 and he could probably still throw a baseball that would kill you if it hit you in the head.
I know, right?
Yeah.
The other one was Randy Johnson too, and it was like
Randy Johnson,
like, I'm like,
big
dude,
unit, yeah.
Still, I mean, you got a 70-year-old man throwing a freaking 70-some-year-old 70 some mile per hour fastball, on the opening pitch. But Ichiro Suzuki, guess what his all-time lifetime batting average is?
I don't even know.
311.
Really?
That's absurd. That's obscene. 311. I mean, the man for his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, his decade, a decade in the MLB, never hit under 300 his first 10 years.
Really?
Oh my God,
Man.
yeah. And then he went into a slump, 272 and 261. Another person's lifetime. That'd be, they would love that kind of hitting, batting average. But yeah, I mean, towards the end of his career, he's doing, 322, 268, 284, 229, 291.
Whatever happened with him? Wasn't there some controversy with him at the end? I don't know what.
No, I think
maybe I'm thinking. Yeah, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I thought there was something, something going on.
No, he just got older and just retired. I mean, you look at him now; he's all gray. He looks like an old man. He looks like
teaching
kung fu to someone in a freaking TV series.
Yeah.
But I mean, could you imagine that your first 10 years, you can't be stopped. And that guy was dedicated and stayed with the Mariners, who sucked.
Oh yeah, but he had one hell of a contract too. He got he got paid.
Oh my God, yeah. But that dude just, I mean, his arm. He won a Golden Glove in each of his first 10 seasons.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, that's crazy when you think about that. And again, he racked up 200 hits in 10 seasons. He tied Pete Rose with that. Pete Rose is a freaking hitting machine.
Oh yeah.
So he actually retired with like over 3,000 hits, 10 Golden Gloves, one of the 4 players in a 3,000 hit club. And like I said before, his first 10 years, he's batting over 300.
How many players? I'm sorry, how many players in that club?
The 3,000 club?
Yeah.
He's one of 4 players.
Is it
players in the 3,000 club to win? Oh, I'm sorry, I cut that off. I'm giving fake news. He's one of 4 players in a 3,000 hit club to win at least 10 of the defensive awards. So he not only was a freaking hitter, but he's also winning defensive awards, a Golden Glove award. The others was Roberto Clemente, Willie Mays, and Al Kylan. And that's what you're like. You're pulling up Roberto Clemente and Willie Mays.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, when those are the people you're being put in the being talked about with.
That dude is just he is a machine. I mean, he just is just crazy talented. And I remember watching some of the games, and someone would pitch the ball in, and he actually hit the ball when it bounced, hit the ball and got a base hit. And they're like, how the hell do you hit a freaking ball that bounces? And he said, they practice that in Japan.
Do they?
Yeah.
Does it happen a lot over there? I don't, it's
Listen, apparently they prepare for everything because they practice hitting balls that bounce off the ground in Japan. And he freaking just
wow.
go on YouTube and just put in freaking Ichiro fucking highlights.
No wonder they're better than us. Yeah, they practice at everything. Yeah.
And the hits, his hitting is not only impressive, but when you see his fielding, his glove and his arm, it's freaking insane. The dude's just an incredible athlete.
It's all that rice. It's gonna be it.
Is that what it is, Kev?
Yeah, it's all them carbs.
All those carbs. He's all carbed up. He's all riced up. Well, that's I'll tell you what, Kev. On that note, what I'd like to do is play another video, if you don't mind. As everybody knows, our son Joseph is going to Africa in January to pursue some additional class work, but also do some volunteer work in Africa. He's going to be over there for a couple of weeks, spending some time not only learning about the culture, but also he's pursuing international business. And we're doing a fundraiser to help Joseph out, raise some money to get him over to Africa. Ashes to Africa, we're calling it, because we have a lot of prizes for those who are generous enough to donate and contribute. You can go to vsrcigarfam.com. You can go to Facebook and look up Ashes to Africa. There's multiple ways that you can donate, and then we are going to be giving out some thank yous. And I want to show you a quick video. It's only about 2 minutes, but it's going to show you all of those folks who have contributed to this endeavor. So I want to thank everybody up front. So here's a little bit of taste of Ashes to Africa. And there's no music. No music at all.
That's room 101. Got a great selection of cigars there.
Yeah. Can they still hear us?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They can still hear us. Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering because I'm laughing. There's Traveler's whiskey that's going to come in the Rocky Patel. Yep.
This is what everybody should be excited. They should be excited about everything. That virtual Fumos experience.
Mm-hmm.
That's fantastic. Got Big
Sky cigar. Yeah, got the Big Sky. Fantastic. The little minnows are great. The Red Meat Lovers Club. God Almighty, so generous. That mug and the knife, fucking ridiculous, man. We got the Pico Fuerte. The event cigars. They're very special cigars. You got Lars, the man Tetons, giving out his stash from Down Under. That is a exclusivo. We got let's see here. We got Belladama, very generous. Gave a bunch of great cigars. We're going to be pairing that. You can see there with some antique ashtrays. Antique poker set. And then we got our boys, the Wolfpack Cigar Club, who also was very generous with giving cigars, T-shirts, couple boxes of cigars along the way. But yeah, there you go. Was that night in Portugal? Just another generous. We got our guy Kartik at Boiling Springs, giving out a $150 gift certificate. He shops online. And there's young Joseph there back when he was diagnosed and getting his treatment. And there's Joseph now. So, yeah, I didn't know they could hear us. I was laughing. Like, there's no freaking music.
What happened to the music?
Don't ask me, man. I actually didn't even know you could hear me until you start like pointing things out. And I was like, oh, shit. So you can see a lot of great prizes. Actually, I think us talking over it was way better than music, Kevin. It's very engaging. Like you said, the Aganor Salif event, I think that's going to be fantastic.
And I know we've talked about it before. So anybody that's listening to tonight, vsrcigarfam.com, head over there and get in on the raffle. But the Fuma tasting experience, you know, it's gonna be you and like 4 of your buddies in a room just like this. I'm gonna host it, and then you'll be on with just Terrence Riley from Aganorsa. You'll be smoking these Fumas. You'll be talking, and it's just, I mean, it's not going to be like one of these online herfs that we all love, you know, but sometimes you get 20, 30 guys in there. Everybody's talking, everybody's asking questions. But yeah, it's going to be absolutely fantastic. Sorry for the delay there.
But I find it very educational too, because you really get to understand, you know, they really walk you through the process of the tobaccos that make up the cigar. And that's these filmers already say, okay, here's this tobacco leaf, here's this tobacco leaf, smoke them individually, smoke them together, smoke the cigar. You know, can you pull out the flavor? Can you identify the flavor from that tobacco leaf in the blend itself? You know, Terrence is a fountain of information. He's a super great guy and very generous to offer up his time to do this. And it's a great opportunity because these are you know, events that they have these events at cigar lounges. You know, so you're going to be probably the first and only individuals to actually have that event as a one-on-one private event virtually.
Yeah, it's super cool. There's nobody else really out there doing something like that. I know JC Newman does a little bit like that, but it's a little different. You got to go to their factory and everything else. And so yeah, tons of good prizes. That tasting event's gonna be super badass for anybody that wins.
I know Jessica is very generous and gave up her Rocky Patel travel.
She did, you know, and that was the very first thing she ever won online. And it was from a Rocky Patel, like one of their Instagram contests. And she won and she got this, and it's so beautiful. It's like, I'm sure it's like a faux, it's supposed to be an ostrich skin. I'm sure it's a faux ostrich skin because it would be ungodly expensive if it was real ostrich skin. But we had it displayed in the lounge here for years. We never wanted to use it because it was just so beautiful, everything about it. And then when this came up, you know, it's like, you know what, let's donate that, and hopefully.
Everything. Thank you. You just unplugged my whole fucking system. Everything. You unplugged my computer, everything. Can you hear me, Kevin?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I'm like, I said, Jennifer, can you unplug the heater above me? She unplugged everything but the heater.
I was scrambling to get that fucking mute button on you because I'm like, he's about to say some shit. And you know,
I was like, Jennifer, you unplugged everything. Like everything but the heater.
Yeah. Like all the lights, everything.
Yeah, my whole computer screen, the lights, everything went off except for the glow of the heater above.
Yeah, that's all we see is the red glow, you know, because everything else got shut off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll sweat. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
That's it, honey. Thank you, dear. Oh my God. She turned around and looked at me and started laughing with her hands in the air. I'm like, no, I got nothing.
Oh my God.
Oh, well, luckily the computer was, I mean, obviously it's still running off battery there for about 5 seconds, but I was like a total blackout except for the heater. Thank you, honey. Very helpful. But yeah, that Rocky Patel travel kit is said we got Traveler's whiskey that we put in there as well, and it's a really good whiskey. I bought a bottle of it myself, and that's such a beautiful a display. It holds 10 cigars, and it holds 10 Robustos, so it's going to come with 10 Rocky Patel Robustos. Belladama, I mentioned that earlier. I mean, she was so generous with the cigars that she had donated. And then Jennifer found these antique ashtrays that are, you know, diamond, club, spade, and heart, that were made in the 40s, you know, that go along with it. So if you are a gambler, if you like to play cards, that's a great gift. And we also have an antique set of chips, which chip wheel, which I bet you that thing's got a million stories with all the cigars, cigarette burns, and the freaking chips and everything.
Oh yeah. Well,
Uh,
and we might have, like I said, I'll tell you, listen, because we're going down to smoke in a Boynton Beach this Friday night. I got to deliver some things I'm 3D printing, so we're gonna go to the event with why I had it on the tip of my tongue and it lost me. The Karate Kid guy that
oh
has his
yeah,
own
I know you're talking
cigar.
about. Yeah. He
What's
was
his
on the
name?
show.
Yeah, what's his name? Martin Cove.
There you go, Martin.
So,
Cove. Yep.
so the giveaway for the raffle of that night is you get to win a signed gi by Martin Cove. So if I win that, if I do, not Jessica, Jessica's keeping it. She loves Martin Cove. If I win, I will donate it to the Ashes for Africa too.
Oh, look at that! Kevin's going to donate Martin Cove's signed gi if he wins.
Yeah. So where am I going to display that? I mean that's a big ass shadow box right there. So. But yeah, be fun. He was on KMA this past weekend Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was a great interview. Talked about the scene where he puts his fist through the car window there at the end, and everything went wrong, and the glass like never exploded like it was supposed to. So like he like really punched through it. So,
well, he's got a black belt in several martial arts.
Yeah, he didn't get his black belt until after the movie. He was big into martial arts, and then and then he had said the movie really inspired him to go on. And then the one kid, not Johnny, but like his little sidekick, the guy that got all antsy, like that was like he was really in martial arts. He had trained since he was a little kid. Like I think he was a real black belt through the movie. I've heard that Newman Factory let people do their own blend and do a limited. Have you guys any experience with this? And was it a good one? I went to Jessica and I, or no, was Jessica and I, or is it just me? No, me and Craig Vanderslice when he came down last year's for the Flyers game. He's coming back down in a couple weeks. We're going to do the Flyers game again. So we went to the factory. We did the factory tour. We did like their version of the Fumas thing, but they have like this table set out, and you get to like build your own. Technically, if you are going to pick like 3 or 4 tobaccos to build a cigar, you have dozens and dozens of these little Fumas that you pull out. You don't get to roll your own, but then you go into the room, you smoke them, and then you talk about them, kind of like the Terrence O'Reilly, but just a little different. But they do have a process to where you go in there and then you sit down with the master blender. It's just one-on-one, and you get to build your own cigar. And it's the same. You're picking out all of these different Fumas, and then you're blending your own cigar. And they're like, the cigars are not cheap. It's like a $2,500, I think, experience. And then you get like a box of cigar, a couple boxes of cigars with that. They take what you want, and then the master blender really takes what you want, and then he blends the cigar based on what you smoked and what you like, and then everything else. And then once your recipe is locked in, it's locked in forever. So when you want another box or 2 boxes, you call up JC Newman, like, hey, this is Kevin. I'd like another box of Kevin's blend. And then, they send it down to the factory, and it's not a quick process. It's not an inexpensive process either. I want to say that the cigars are quite expensive, but they are your cigars, and you get that cigar for life.
That's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty decent. Yeah, it's $30 cigars, $2,400 for 80 custom blended cigars.
Okay.
Yeah, which, I mean, you figure that ain't too bad. I mean,
it's not, and then they do offer that service remotely. So like so you can call the master blend, like they'll send you like everything you need, and then you do a one-on-one virtual, and you talk with him, and they can do that whole event. You don't have to come down to JC Newman. But if I was, to be honest with you, if I was spending that kind of money, what's a plane ticket and a hotel, to do that experience at the factory?
Well,
So
it says what you get is 4 leather cabinets of 20 6x52 Toro cigars. So you get 80 cigars, and it's your custom blend. They age for a minimum of 3 months. You can let them age up to a year if you depend, if that's your preference. Um, it's a $250 consultation fee, and it's $2,400 for the whole shebang-a-lang. It's
yeah,
should start from scratch. You know,
yeah, they've been
consultation, the tobacco selection, the blending, the rolling, the aging, and then a presentation, and they come in 4 leather bound humidors, really beautiful.
Yeah, they were a lot of the guys that are doing it. I haven't heard if any women are doing it, but it's gifts, wedding gifts, birthdays, anniversaries. It's spouses buying these, and I'm sure there's people just buying it, but from the people that I've heard, that it's the being given as and what a great gift.
Oh
What
my
a
God,
fantastic, this is your cigars.
yeah, and looking at the humidor itself too. I mean, God Almighty. I mean, it's a I can't speak to the quality because you can't see the quality, but the looks of it they look very nice. And I can imagine if you're paying $2,400 for 80 cigars, the quality's going to be pretty damn good.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Then
Yeah.
Mike's like, what other options are there from other manufacturers? I don't think there are. I think really, you got JC Newman and then you got Aganorsa, and I don't recall. If there is somebody else doing it, I don't know. Those are the two that you constantly, hear about. Other than when you do the factory tours, like when you go, they do, a lot of the factories do something similar to that, of the tastings when you're on these tours in the factories. But
Yeah. All you got to do is just go on the JC Newman website and look and Google the Start from Scratch JC Newman Cigar Company, and it's right there. And it's like you said, it's if you're going to be getting this stuff, I mean, whether it's you want a special blend for your family's gifts or for events, special occasions, that's a great deal.
Yeah,
especially the experience too. The experience you can't put a price tag on. I mean, when you're thinking about you're going to sit down with a consultant, you're going to talk about what you like, your flavor profile, et cetera, et cetera. Then you're going to be brought into a room and with the tobacco, pick through the tobacco. The whole experience itself is going to be. I'd rather spend that $2,400 and have 80 cigars at the end of it than spend $2,400 at Disney and then at the end of it just be angry and sunburned.
Yeah, that's it. And then your blend, they do say the master blender for JC Newman is not going to allow you to choose a bad cigar. They are going to take what you want and then they are going to blend it to perfection to make sure you get
me blending a cigar for you and you turning green from all the all the freaking strong tobacco there.
But that,
you okay? Stop talking over there.
Yeah, that was strong.
Yeah, that's why I'm not a master blender, Kev.
Yeah. Don't claim to be.
I never claimed to be. I'll blend some tobacco. But that was my first kind of swing at it, which was pretty comical. But so we were talking about college football. I know you're not a big pro football guy, but there are some great pro football games. We talked about the Jags 68-yard field goal. The Bills, really dominating the Chiefs. The score is 28-21, but it was they did a heck of a job of doing that. Tonight you have the Cardinals and the Cowboys, which that's the who gives a shit bowl. And the Vikings upset the Lions. The Vikings playing tough football. I mean, that division is kind of back to where it was, where I think everybody in that division has, that's that crazy division of the Packers, the Lions, and the Bears and the Vikings. And right now, the Packers are 5-2, the Lions are 5-3, the Bears are 5-3, and the Vikings are 4-4. I mean, it's just so close. They're all playing decent football. But for pros, the teams that really kind of shocked me and when I looked at it is, I knew the Patriots were playing good football, but they're 7-2, and the Colts are 7-2. The Colts lost yesterday to the Steelers, but they're 7-2 as well. And I was pretty impressed. And the Broncos, like 3 teams that were kind of a couple of years ago. The Patriots really were going through some rebuilding phases after Belichick left, but they're killing it. And you got teams like the Ravens, who everyone thought were going to, they were going to come back. I mean, they're missing some key players, but they're 3-5. They're sucking wind. The Chargers are the Chiefs are 5-4. So those are some teams that everyone expected to do well.
Who's the what are the odds on the Super Bowl? Who are they who are they talking about?
Oh gosh. Let's see here. Who are they talking about the Super Bowl? I know everyone's looking at the Eagles again and the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but it's looking like the let's see here what Sports Illustrated has to say. Probably a bunch of just horrible. The Rams power rankings are the Rams are number 1. At Buffalo Bills number 2, the Eagles and the Buccaneers, Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I was yeah. I keep hearing the talk on the Bucks. That's what I'm hearing from the
Bucks are tough, man.
That's from just the ESPN commentators or on the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean the Bucks are tough. Baker Mayfield's playing really good football.
Yeah.
It's you got the Seahawks are playing good football too. I mean they're playing some damn good football. So it's pretty tough for me right now.
No, he should not. Mike should Rodgers retire?
No. Let him keep playing. The guy. Come on, man. That dude. As long as you keep him safe.
Yeah,
he's got another couple more years left in him. You see him out there playing football. I mean, the guy's freaking. He's a heck of an athlete. He threw for 200 yards. And even when he's not throwing for 200 yards, he's still playing good football and winning the games. I mean, if you got a guy who's 40 years old, he's still. Look at Flacco. Flacco's him and
72,
Rodgers,
I think. Yeah, what is he? 70 now?
Yeah, Flacco's like 83 years old. Putting up close to 500 yards. I mean, and that's the one guy who I always thought who got a bad rap in Baltimore.
Yeah,
they chased him out of Baltimore. They didn't like Flacco, and I thought, you guys are so fucking stupid. He's a good quarterback. Give him a good team around him. He's going to do well.
Bucks had that for years. Chased every quarterback. And every quarterback went on to either go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl. Like everyone, I think. It's like, well, it's obviously it's not your quarterback, guys.
Well, you had going back to Steve Young.
Yeah.
Doug Williams. Didn't Dilfer play for him?
Dilfer played for him.
Won a Super Bowl. He's another one too. They kind of.
I don't know. Yeah, I know. I don't know if Testaverde ever won a Super Bowl after he left. But
no. He didn't. He did not.
I think Dilfer wasn't Dilfer the one that came back like a year or two later and won the Super Bowl in Tampa.
I think so. I know that he won in that he won in. I'm fairly certain that he did win with. Yeah, he did. He won in up in Baltimore.
Yeah. Because he came back when it was in Tampa. He came back home and then fucking won the Super Bowl.
Jeff Garcia. I always liked Garcia. I thought he was a good quarterback.
I don't remember him.
Yeah. You don't remember Jeff Garcia?
No.
Late 2000s. He went up. He played for the Eagles and he played for the Niners too. He's a freak of nature too. He's another one who's playing, in his 30s and playing some good quarterback. I mean, good football. Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
The Brad Johnson years. I mean, he wasn't a bad quarterback. He just, whatever. But I always liked Trent Dilfer. I thought he was a good quarterback. I think he knew his limitations too. He said, "Look, he got guys back there. He goes, look how fast their footwork is. He said, I can never get that fast. He goes, so I have to be smarter and get rid of the football in a 3-step drop back. I can't do 5 steps because I'm slow as shit.
Yeah.
And you got to work within your, within what you can do. But yeah, they had Testaverde, but yeah, the Doug Williams and Steve Young were the 2 biggies. I remember that, played some good football and then went elsewhere and exceeded.
Great stadium though. The Bucks have a fantastic stadium.
I'd love to go see that.
Yeah, it's a good atmosphere to watch a game in for sure.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you are you find yourself rooting for them more than maybe the Dolphins, or are you still going to be a diehard Dolphins fan?
I'll always be a diehard, but I've always rooted for the Bucks, even as a kid. I mean, that's a Florida team. So I've always been a Bucks fan as long. I'm a diehard Dolphins fan, but you got to root for the Bucks. So
yeah, it's you have to. I mean, I do like I like to see the Buccaneers do well. I do. They're like one of those teams where I'm a Rams fan and the Eagles too, just because of growing up there. But I like to see the Bucks do well. AFC wise, I always like the Broncos too. I like to see the Broncos do well. But I think Brad Johnson was the quarterback who won with the Bucks Super Bowl 2003. That's what I was trying to think. I knew they won another Super Bowl with someone that wasn't Brady. It was Brad Johnson. I think he went to Buffalo then and played some football. But
and I know they've I know the teams like coming to Tampa for the Super Bowl because it's such a fun town. Vegas, Tampa, it's there's always like a host of cities that they love coming to.
Of course.
So,
I mean, you can't have those stories that you hear about, when the Bears, when everyone knew the Bears was going to win, and you're hearing about Jim McMahon renting out helicopters and staying out till the next morning, and or when the Raiders, you ever read that story, the news, the writer who spent the night with John Matuszek the night before the Super Bowl?
No.
It's like, this guy's getting ready to play a Super Bowl and he's just out party animal, the night before. That was back when you could do that kind of stuff. But then you see guys where it really happened is, when the Eagles played the Patriots and who was the quarterback? Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
He was out late the night before and he was winded and throwing up at the end of the game, when they needed to hustle. So you gotta know your limitations. I don't think Jim McMahon's out there, worried about running up and down the field at super high speed. When he got Walter Payton in the backfield and his receivers were awesome. Plus they're playing the Patriots, which it's a horrible beating up game. But yeah, I mean, it's those guys aren't partying like they used to. I'm sure they still do, but God Almighty, with every cameras everywhere and everyone's got a freaking camera on their phone.
That's the thing. It's like you can't go into the gentleman's club per se on a the night before a Super Bowl.
Nope.
Or any of those days leading up to it, and then making it rain without being caught on camera.
Yeah, no, you can't. I mean, back in those days, does someone have a Polaroid with them?
Yeah.
You got to worry about that.
You see that big flash. Where did that come from?
And you could take someone's camera and smash it, and that film will never see the light of day.
Yeah.
Now people are taking pictures and instantly uploading it to some social media platform. But yeah, God Almighty, it's I can't imagine those guys got to play it super tight to the chest when they're going out. I can't imagine how freaking secretive you got to be. Private events and whatnot.
That's it. Pulling them out of the back door.
So I got to ask you, Kev. I got to pivot over a little bit to politics because Trump did a 60-minute interview.
Oh,
Interview of 60 minutes.
I've seen pieces of it. I haven't seen the whole thing yet.
I've seen very little of it, but
Yeah.
you know, whenever I open up Yahoo, freaking, it's basically, you know, if you click on the Yahoo News and you scroll, it's like, you know, you get like 20 articles and 18 of them are, you know, horrible on Trump. But man, oh man, did I see the first thing up there is Chuck Schumer. Chuck Schumer wants to file charges or something because of the interview. And he said it was cut, et cetera, et cetera. It was
Yeah.
a train wreck. And I haven't had a chance to watch any of it to be honest. I mean, they're all of a sudden now they got, you know, of course, you know, within 24 hours, you know, CNN has to have their fact checkers out because that's what they do. You know, they got their hands in their pockets when anybody else is on there being interviewed. But sweet Jesus, you know, he's on there. They got people, you know, fact checking across the way. But I didn't get a chance to watch any of it. How was it? What parts did you see?
I've probably seen about 10 minutes total of it, maybe a little bit more, but right around 10 minutes. And it was typical mainstream media trying to trap them into, you know, whatever questions that they have, and then just Trump being Trump, you know, and that's it. You know, it's whoever the person giving the interview, one of the ones I saw, you know, is like, oh, you know, China, you know, they're buying our farmland, they're putting, you know, whatever, you know, they're monitoring our energy and everything else, and Trump just goes, yeah, we do the same thing to them. Yeah, you know, it's basically that's what he said. Yeah, we're doing it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what nations do.
Yeah,
They
I don't
spy on
get it,
each
man.
other.
Like him or not like him, some of the shit though, like for example, I see Mike commenting about the bulldoze the White House, and I'm like,
Didn't need a permit to bulldoze it. It only needs a permit to rebuild it.
I'm laughing, going, you know, of all the presidents, when you go back and you take a look at all the additions, what they did to the White House, the freaking things that were built, added on, the you know, the renovations. He's the only guy that they're going to give shit to for renovating it. Where it's like, dude, did you not see the last guy and the guy before? Like, everybody.
Now,
Come
Mike
on.
Mike might be able to fact check me. I don't know, but when I saw the interview, Obama's basketball court cost the taxpayers $300 million. Is that? I mean, I don't know if that was correct,
I think it was
but
$350 million.
I know the taxpayers paid for that basketball court. I know that. I know the taxpayers aren't putting a dime into the ballroom. So that I don't. Do you see Lincoln's bathroom? It's fucking beautiful with all the marble.
Yeah.
You know, I said the last renovation was like in the and you could tell it was done in the 50s with the colors and you know, the whole scheme was like, oh yeah, that was typical 50s, you know, motif in the bathroom. But now it's beautiful. I don't like the gold trim. I'm not a fan of gold. But beautiful bathroom with all that marble. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Stunning.
Obama did the basketball court, and the White House kitchen garden on the south lawn. Just looking about here, Bush W. He modernized the briefing room, which isn't much. I like
during the one press conference. So they were you know, talking about the ballroom, and then the Caroline goes, you know, if you know, like, what was it, like 30 years ago, you know, you'd be sitting in a pool right now, right? Like so, you know, someone put a pool in. Then someone else decided they didn't want the pool, so it's everybody leaves their mark.
Gerald Ford put the outdoor swimming pool in there, and Nixon.
Was it Ford? Okay.
Nixon put in an old, you know, put in a bowling alley. I mean,
wonder if that's still there.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I liked when he was like, I liked when Trump was like, right over here is where you know, Kennedy would be in there, and he didn't. And his wife had, do I hear girls' voices over there? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I mean, some of the shit that comes out of that guy's mouth is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he paved over the Kennedy Rose Garden.
Yeah, and then and it's beautiful now. I know like the media, it like hit and miss, but from what I've seen, and obviously the algorithm shows me what I want to see because it knows which way I lean. The female reporters are grateful that they don't have to trudge through there in their high heels, through the garden. That they're thankful that they have, pavers now to stand on, and they have tables to sit at, so and then other people that they like the grass. I don't know. I'm a concrete guy myself, I don't
know what my algorithm tells me, because I get all sorts of mixed mixed reviews and mixed news feeds. It reflects my kind of middle of the road.
And then I think the biggest controversy was the balcony that they put on the White House, and that was back. I mean, that goes way back.
Yeah,
like that. That's one of them presidents that we don't know, black and white film presidents back then.
Black and white film presidents.
Yeah, that like that. Like I think they were saying like that was the biggest that made all the architectural snobs. That was the one that blew them away the most. Oh, they're ruining it, and now you just can't picture it without it. So,
yeah, no, he's getting $300 million in private funding for it.
Yeah, I haven't seen the plans for it. I don't think they've released them yet. Because I know he has to have building permits to build, because obviously it has to, be up to code and shit. But for demolition, the president does not need anything for demolition. Just rebuilding, he needs building permits for.
Yeah,
so
I just I had to laugh at that, because when you hear people going, "That's your house," I'm like, yeah, no, it isn't. I just can't roll in there and be like, "Hey, listen, can I use the bathroom? It's my house."
Yeah.
That's my house. I'd really like to use the bathroom. Can I get in there? I mean, you go over to Cigar Lounge right across the street from it, the Curtis Drapier. It's not like you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna grab a cigar and walk over to my house and hang out in the Rose Garden and smoke a cigar."
That's it. Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully it comes out beautiful. Hopefully it sticks with the. Obviously I don't think it's going to stick out like a sore thumb. I think he's going to, continue with the motif and the at least on the exterior. So it still looks good. But I don't know. We'll see.
$376 million. Go.
Is that what it's up to now?
No, it was you were asking about President Obama's.
Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. They do add a little disclaimer, which always cracks me up. When you talk about the fact checkers, when the comment says was likely funded privately or through other means.
Yeah.
And this is from Newsweek, but it's known as, with Bush starting it, that that was definitely a had some taxpayer funded because Congress had to approve it.
Yeah, and I some people are like, oh, what are these people going to ask for? Why are they donating these money? It's like the Zuckerbergs, the Bezos. Obviously, we'll know if there's some shade. Like if Trump, or whatever, gives preferential treatment to Zuckerberg or Bezos over a bill or signs an executive order. Then we'll say, oh, hey, they built the ballroom. That's just a little tit for tat right there. So I don't think we're going to see that. I think these companies are, they're donating to get in good, without a doubt. That's just what companies do on every politician, politician, not just the president. And it's every president. You buy your time with him.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. So
well, here it is.
Yeah.
This is online.
Yeah, I know they did have to ask
with the comment. Oh wait, hold on. That's when Obama was renovating the basketball court in 2010.
And I know it's funny. Like I said, they had to ask the Treasury Department to stop posting pictures because they're tearing down some sensitive stuff.
Yeah.
So But yeah, I'm excited to see the plans and see what it's going to look like. We'll be fun. It's like, but they were saying, we're the only, like the largest nation that doesn't have a place for people to, have like the big state dinners and the big events. They got to bring in those stupid tents and everybody's, walking around on the grass, and, that's what you don't want to have world leaders over there. And then, have them in Washington in the summertime. Like, oh, hey, they got that one bathroom right there. You just got to get in line, and, porta potties everywhere. And that's what you want to see.
Yeah. Mike, it's still a good show. There's no political agenda. We just like to make sure we're hitting all aspects, right? Sports, media.
Yeah,
Now we'll transition into UFOs like we always do, because
I
still can't understand how someone said, how can we freaking look at rocks on the moons of Saturn, but yet we still can't get this 3-eye atlas picture.
We get blurry ass photos of it, and now it's changed direction again, and it's speeding up, and
we get as you could say, hey, look, there's Pluto. We found out that Pluto has a ring. Pluto's all the way out there. 3-eye atlas is close to the sun. I mean, relatively speaking, in the world of astronomical, distance, and it's still, I don't know, man. It's still that's all we're getting right there is that blurry photo. I'm not much. I guess I'd say I'm not much of a conspiracy theorist, but I think I am. But it just it makes me take pause. It's like, how the hell can we not get pictures of this thing?
I know, and we can't, so the Hubble and the James Webb is forbidden to turn around and film or take pictures of anything pointing towards the sun. So obviously, they're not going to get a great photo of 3-eye atlas. But
is there any reason why? Does it have to do with the radiation from the sun?
No, just the sensors. It's the same thing as looking up at the sun. I mean, it's same thing as we do. Just you can't turn it around, and just which makes me think, 3-eye atlas. The closest it's going to come is when it's on the far side of the sun, and we don't know what it's going to do. And there are other people. It's like, that makes sense if you're an intelligent life form. When it's on the backside of the sun, that's when you release your probes, and then they're going to be so small.
You're probes. That's interesting.
Oh yeah, no, that's going to release probes when it goes to the backside of the sun, and then the probes will be small. So by the time the probes come out, we can't see them against the backdrop of the sun. So that's how they're gonna monitor us.
So why couldn't the Webb and Hubble telescopes look at it before it got to the sun? Because I don't know. It just didn't arrive at the sun. It took a little slow path, coming by Jupiter, Mars, everyone else.
You look at the James Webb, and it's taking these incredible photos of these nebulas, millions of light years away, and all these beautiful, spectacular colors. And then something that's in our solar system, like it couldn't turn, when it was, like you said, like when it wasn't facing the sun.
Yeah. That's my only question. Like, and I get the whole, facing of the sun, reason, and that makes complete sense. But it didn't come from behind the sun, and it came out from beyond our universe. We knew it was coming, and we knew it was traveling in. We gave the dates it was going to be by Jupiter, the dates it was going to be by Mars, and then you heard this conspiracy theorist about the government shutdown, so we could purposely not, film it, which I'm not buying that one. But hey, anything's possible.
And I know, I wonder if the speed has anything to do with it, because I mean, it's coming in beyond supersonic, like 100 times or whatever it is. It's traveling at like, I don't know how many miles per second.
Yeah. So, I would expect a picture of like, dudes hanging out the window of the spacecraft. If there is one in there waving and, getting that photo. But I'd also have to imagine that there's got to be somewhere between, the markings of a ship, if it's a ship, or the comet itself, or a blur, with just these color auras outside of it. I have to imagine that somewhere in between that's a little bit more clear. And I'm wondering how many of these amateur other astronomers who do have the ability to capture some of these things are, because now, I mean, listen, you get online, it's like you can't. I don't believe anything. Everything's fake news now. I mean, it's like, hey, here's the new picture of 3 Atlas. I'm like, no, it's an amoeba, floating around in a freaking, on a microscope slide. That's all that is. It's
Yeah.
not 3 Atlas. Come on, give me a break. So it's even hard to be able to tell what's real and what's not anymore.
It is. It's getting scary good.
It is. I mean, it's scary good when the videos that you can see that are produced that are freaking AI, let alone freaking someone trying to make some freaking, supposed spacecraft coming in. But I was talking to Jennifer about the new documentary that's going to be released at the end of November.
Yeah.
That's I said that's the one we got to get. We got to watch that. We got to go see that. That's the one with Rubio, and it's got a bunch of government officials in it. That's the one that Rogan saw and was blown away by it.
Yeah, I was I got a few documentaries on my list I got to watch. The one was a follow up to the 9/11. I watched the original one, and no, not 9/11, January 6th, and that was an eye opener, And then when Kash Patel said, they had fucking 300 FBI agents, and there was a follow up to that one, and that's looked really good. So I got to watch that one. I just finished up the Tucker Carlson on 9/11. That was a real. If anybody hasn't seen that 6-part series, each part's not very long. I think it's under an hour each part. And it's not a conspiracy. It's just the questions that he asked, the questions that weren't answered. And his goal is to set up a new 9/11 commission, one that's fully funded, one that has, power of to get people to testify. So really great series, whether you like Tucker or not. He didn't push an agenda at all. Just asking questions. Had
Jesse
people,
Body gonna head that commission?
No, he is definitely not. So lots of great questions, and it made me think. Really, it's obviously it happened. He's not disputing that it happened. Didn't happen at all.
Oh, yeah.
But was it a false flag? And I don't know how many other countries knew that it was happening. And it's just, and that was the big one. How many overseas countries were shorting stock, buying, and all of this that they knew. And it's like, it was just a little bit too close to home there.
Oh no, I believe that. There's a lot of things with that whole 9/11 and the subsequent, information and wars that were started afterwards that, makes you scratch your head and go, this is a little bit deeper than conspiracy theory, when you see some of the things that line up, and it's just I don't believe in coincidences, so it's beyond coincidental. The one plane that always got me that I never could really figure out was the one that hit the Pentagon.
That was Tucker's biggest question, towards the end there. And he's like, of the Pentagon, so many cameras, and we have he goes, you mean to tell me
no record?
There is no footage.
No footage? No real wreckage? I mean, people died on that flight. I mean, that's the part where my logical brain kind of brings me back to the center and says, there were human beings, there were people on that flight that died, and it was horrible. But there's really, like you said, there's no footage. There really is. After a plane crash, there was no real wreckage. I mean, it was
not like the flight that went down in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania. Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly.
There was luggage. There was, parts,
fucking engines.
And that fell from a great distance. That's not one that came in. That was a nosedive. So there should have been almost nothing from that.
There was close to nothing because of how that impact that crater.
Yeah, but we saw more than from the Pentagon coming in at not ground level, but pretty parallel to the.
That's the other part that always gets me is when they had the different pilots do simulation. Even experienced pilots could not keep that could not keep the airspeed and the lift at the appropriate amount in order to replicate that jet flying into the Pentagon. And it just so happened to hit the same spot where the freaking $3 billion at that time was missing.
And then the files. From the files from what?
That was Rumsfeld made the announcement the day before. We can't find like $8 billion or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, where are those files? Oh, the plane hit it. Pentagon just happened to hit that spot. So that's where, like I said, my brain kind of battles back and forth with the fact that people died. Obviously something happened, but there's no footage. There's no real wreckage. And the flight simulators of pilots trying to replicate that. And then you had guys who literally took lessons and had no idea how to operate a plane at that level and at that height, and to be able to control a plane, being a novice where they just took some real basic pilot lessons. None of them took lessons on how to land, let alone get that close to the ground. It just didn't add up.
Yeah, and then he had like a lot of an episode on building 7. Why did building 7 collapse? Because that was all. There's a bunch of, and he goes, they have footage of building 7 collapsing, and it's like off into the corner, so they don't have great footage of it, but they do have footage of it, and like no debris hit it. There were buildings between building 7 and the Trade Center. Those buildings didn't go down, but building 7 where the FBI was, the FBI or CIA was housed. I
can't remember. I thought it did get some damage, but I think the question was at what level of damage did it, to damage it, the structure, to have that much structural damage to where it collapsed.
Yeah, it came down. He goes, and it didn't come down like it was your typical controlled demolition. And that's one thing he goes, people was like, oh, controlled. He goes, and he's like, no, they've talked that, obviously, when you have a controlled demolition, that takes a lot of planning. You're opening up walls, you're exposing the beams, wrapping, that didn't happen. That's a lot, unless it was underground, like it was, but the way it came down. So it's very suspicious how it came down that. It was just super, super weird.
That was Jesse's big thing with the towers. He's like, I was in Buds and I seen the controlled demolition. You can see the puffs of smoke coming out. It's like, no, that's just a building collapsing, on itself. And that's what's going to happen. The pressure he keeps going down. The pressure's got to release somewhere.
Yeah. And you would have better luck, a controlled demolition of it's either FBI or CIA building. You'd have better luck, planning that one out in advance, getting, those people not to speak. But the Trade Center, where, average people worked, someone's going to be, someone's like, hey, they're tearing down a lot of walls here at work. Removing a lot of drywall. We don't know why. They
just keep doing it at every level with no explanation.
That's strange. So that's was planes hitting those buildings is what brought those buildings down. I have no question about that. Like zero. That's what happened.
No, I mean, and everyone talks about the fuel burning and the heat and the this and that, and it's like, well, everyone always, as Lars Teton / Mike Tyson would say, everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
It's I mean, you can, you build your building and you have it structured. The structural integrity is to withstand XYZ, but until a plane fucking slams into it with freaking, it's tanks filled, you're probably not going to see what's going to happen to it in real life until that shit happens.
Yeah, and just the force of that, the force of a fully loaded, fully fueled jumbo jet slamming into a stationary object, the magnitude of the force, it's
No, it's crazy. I mean, that's to your point. I mean, that's a lot of force. That can cause an immense amount of damage, just the force of that slamming into a building. And it's hard. I mean, I remember when that happened. I mean, hell, else the airport when that happened.
Yeah.
Getting ready to leave to go to Vegas.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like, that was a scary, scary moment. Being at the airport and watching the second plane fly into the building, and I'm going, "Hey, we're boarding." No, thank you. But it's just usually when something that big happens, it's going to bring some questions about. And I like Tucker Carlson. Oh, I'm a fan. I think he's a smart guy. I think the majority of what he says, makes sense, and I like listening to him. And I think he asked the right appropriate questions, and I think he obviously he's definitely right leaning, but I don't think he shies away from, he's not that, blinders, are on like some folks that are on the right, and so a lot of folks on the left with the blinders on. And I think that's, I think that is someone that you definitely want to, someone like that is who you need to listen to. I mean, Jen just texted me that Fetterman is on Jesse Waters tonight. Fetterman's one that gets a lot of shit. He's a Democrat, but he's just like, listen, I'm not.
They're gonna primary him. They want him out.
What? Yeah, and I'm sorry, Mike. But at the end of the day, if you're going to get someone out for thinking independently and literally wanting to kind of get everybody kind of more the center and capitalize that we have more commonalities than differences, and let's not play this bullshit freaking identity politics. At that point, you're just steering the ship in a certain direction of where you want it to go, and you're causing more division than you are, bringing people together.
You look at Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's not been happy with the Republicans and the president. She is still Republican, but you really don't see them saying, "Oh, we need to get her out of here. We're gonna primary her. She has to go. She can't be talking." On her own. But Fetterman, ever since when he went down to Mar-a-Lago and had dinner with the president, that was it. That was the end of his, his political career right there.
No.
For having dinner with the president.
And I don't understand why that there's no reason. I mean, if that you can't, in politics, we do have parties that do. Their core is their core belief, is what makes them so unique. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, you're an independent Federalist, what have you. But at the end of the day, everyone should be working towards a common goal, and that is bringing folks together. And both major parties, and I say major parties because the other parties are kind of they do their own thing, but both major parties are very guilty of continually, just taking pot shots at the other one.
That's it. I got to find the Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart has his own little podcast that he does, and for someone that knows, I mean, he does not look good in those someone needs to get Jon Stewart some lighting and a goddamn good camera, for his podcast. He doesn't.
He aged.
He ages 30 years from the Daily Show to his podcast the next day. He had Kamala Harris on, and I only saw like a minute clip, and Kamala was he'd asked or she said that she never saw any mental decline in Joe Biden over his term as president, and then he's like, really? That's just what Jon Stewart. Really?
Yeah.
you didn't see anything?
Yeah.
That was I'm like, I gotta see the rest of that one.
I've always been a fan of Jon Stewart.
Same here. He goes, he attacks Republicans quite a bit, but
he does.
He does so with, with facts. And, I like Jon Stewart. Like I said, I don't like everything that he says, but same with even Tucker. I don't agree with everything that Tucker says either, but they both at least bring the facts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've slowly become a fan of Bill Maher too, because I think Bill Maher back in the day was very, a little bit of an attitude. He had a Napoleon complex. And I think he's, for him being a true, Democrat, when he starts seeing, what I like about Bill Maher is that he's able to call both an even game. If he's the umpire, I know he's going to call an even game, right? He's not going to see. He'll call, and he's not a Trump fan. He's not a Republican fan, but he also will call out his own party, and he also will acknowledge good things that are occurring, under a president that may not be his party. And I respect someone who can do that, because it shows that you're not kind of just pandering and just constantly pushing an agenda, that you're able to see the good and then call out the bullshit. And
he's called out some. Yeah, he's called out the Republican Party a few times and some things I've seen. And I'm like, and I would say more than half the time, I'm like, he's kind of right about that. They're doing some dumb shit over there. It's like, I kind of agree.
Well, yeah, he's because he'll mix in his own humor with it, but it's kind of like when you see, oh God, Dennis, what was his name? Dennis Miller. He's a Republican, but he's also very comical and can be very sarcastic about both sides of the aisle. But I do like Bill Maher, because I think that he is someone that is, I think he's reasonable and rational enough where he's kind of like that left traditionalist, but also is more center left than anything, and still believes in a lot of the the core values of the Democratic Party, but also believes that there is some of those overlap in some negotiations and some giving and taking, which will guide you more towards the middle, versus just and he's not afraid to kind of throw down. The only time I've ever seen an interview with him where you could really tell that he did not want to get into a debate was when he had Ben Shapiro on.
Yeah.
And he sat there and he would throw out things that they disagreed on, and he would try and control the narrative, because Ben Shapiro's a pretty smart dude.
Yeah.
That dude is like, that's someone where you're in a debate, you're like, listen, I'm tapping early. I do not want to.
He brings out, just his history knowledge. Ben Shapiro is just like, he'll be like, oh yeah, in 1815 when Congress passed this act, I'm like, how the fuck did you know that? It's like, just constantly throwing out, and Ben Shapiro brings up some things that, it's like all of them, like, it's like, that's going a little out there, it's you're kind of stretching on that one, Ben, but
but he pretty much keeps him. He's a very intelligent, factual guy. So, listen, when you get to some level some of these folks are, they're not dummies. They're not dummies. Bill Clinton was freaking brilliant. That dude he not only was smart, but he had a personality. He could relate. Yeah. It's funny is, how a lot of folks will criticize Trump and say that he relates to the working class. And like, how does a billionaire relate to the working class? Come on, give me a fucking break. He's sitting on golden toilets. Well, he's been in construction his whole life. He kind of worked, he worked around construction workers. He was always around them. So he has that relation. Bill Clinton, that dude wasn't like someone who just kind of came off the freaking podunk farm in Arkansas. Guy's a pretty smart dude. He's a Rhodes Scholar.
Yeah.
And he related to the American public just as good as if not better, I felt, than Trump does. Clinton really did a great job of connecting and relating to the American people. especially when he said, I feel your pain. Some of his talking points were no, they were more than just strategic talking points. They You got to feel that he genuinely believed it and felt it, and that's what made him such a popular president.
Yeah, I met a guy up at Corona Cigar in Tampa, and he worked in one of Trump's buildings where Trump had his office, and he was. He was just like I don't know if he, I don't know if he was a doorman, a cleaner. He was like very low level,
Mhm.
in the building, and he says, man, he goes, every time Trump came in, even if I was not anywhere near him, he would always come up, and say hi, how you doing, and he'd remember his family, and that was it. And he goes, just he didn't have to do that. He interacted with everybody in the building,
Yeah.
knew him, loved him. He knew their names, he knew their families, and said just a good guy.
And you could splice that any way you want. You could say, oh, they're just doing it for they're fake, and this, that, the other thing. It's like, well, regardless, if you can make someone feel special, make someone feel that way, then you are doing what you should be doing, regardless if you're a builder or a politician, or hell, there's freaking, teachers and doctors that freaking, make the people who work for them feel like they're less than dirt out there. And you got people of this stature that can walk in and you can relate to them pretty quickly. And
Yeah.
I think that's a special talent. It just really is. And I think that there's a lot of genuineness behind it. And I think even with Clinton, there was a lot of genuineness behind it as well. Whether there's a hidden agenda behind it or not, to any of these folks, you don't know, but it takes a lot to connect. I mean, hell, the old Saturday Night Live skit that always cracked me up was when he'd go jog and he'd run into McDonald's, and because he did that, he'd go there, he'd talk to people, that's
Yeah,
what
he
he did.
did.
He's like, here you better you go home, you got your, just think about these French fries or aid from UN. Warlords intercept, and he sits there and eat everybody's food. But he'd go in and he could walk into a place like that and just shoot the shit with anybody. I told you,
Yeah.
I met Jesse Jackson years ago down here in Greenville, and I spent about 20 seconds chatting with him. He gave me a hug, and when he left, I sat down. I go, if I'd have spent another minute with that man, I probably would vote for him. He's freaking,
Yeah.
he just such charisma. I mean,
Yeah.
super nice, super friendly, and if you really got involved in a deep conversation with him, I'm like, man, that is just, and it's not even being awestruck, it's how they make you feel. Because there's a lot
Yeah.
of people you feel awestruck around, if they're an athlete or what have you, and they kind of act a certain way and they go about their day. But he just was very engaging. When you have that, you're like, God damn, Jesse, another minute, I'd have been freaking
Yeah.
walking around with the Jesse Jackson for President shirt on, man.
Oh my God. All right. Well, on that note, I want to thank everybody for coming on, spending a couple hours of your Monday night with us. We kind of, as usual, talked a little bit about everything, and then, yeah, hopefully everybody got something out of this. If not, at least hopefully smoke some good cigars and had some good cocktails, and that's it. So, go back, watch KMA Talk Radio this past Saturday. They had a great interview with Martin Cove of had a great career. He's got a new cigar, The Prodigal Son, that's coming out, named after like a graphic novel that he has written, and trying to get turned into a movie. So super cool. If you're near Boynton Beach this Friday night, Martin Cove will be there, selling cigars, signing some autographs. So head down, smoke in Boynton Beach, and yeah, we'll see everybody next Monday night.
One more thing, I gotta say a big shout out to my man Daryl Iverson, who retired on Friday.
Daryl, Big D retired.
Big D is retired. He messaged me this morning at 6:30. I said, "Why in the hell are you messaging me at 6:30 in the morning? You should be sleeping. It is retirement time." He goes, "I can't sleep in. I'm gonna eat some breakfast." And he started sending me pictures of cigars and breakfast that he's eating. I'm like, son of a bitch, I'm working.
Yeah.
I'm working. You're eating freaking sausage and waffles and freaking smoking a freaking Rocky Patel. And I'm in front of the computer trying to pull out a spreadsheet. But yeah, Big Daryl has retired. Well deserved. Great dude, and a dear friend of mine. And I wish him well. I'm going to get an opportunity to go down there and visit with Daryl and share a cigar to drink or two with him.
Yeah, hopefully next time I come up and see you, I'll be able to get a chance to sit down with Daryl and have a cigar.
Yeah, I'd like for Daryl to come up. He doesn't get off to it. I'm going to try and I'm going to say, listen, here's the deal, Daryl. Either you come up and visit, or Kevin and I are coming down there, and we're going to hang out with you down in Anderson. So, but yeah, Big D's retired, so God bless him. He's a great dude, man.
Right on. Congrats, Daryl. Sorry, we'll see everybody next week.
We'll see you.
Welcome to the Puff and Ponder podcast, where conversations ignite. Yes, Kevin and Herb, grab your seat, light it up, let's unwind. Kevin and Herb with stories in mind, from tech tips to last night's game. Join the talk, you'll be glad you came. Puff and Ponder sports take flight, where conversations ignite.